So, hello guys, this is the second part of this question number 6. We're going to be answering what are your greatest weaknesses in this video. So, let's start with this video.
Your weaknesses. One of the most common questions you'll get during an interview when you're applying for a job. Now, over the years, I've asked this question to so many applicants, and I am shocked by the answers. So today I'm going to teach you how to answer that question properly. First, let's talk about what you don't do. So when your employer, your interviewer is asking you, so what are your weaknesses? Oh, I have none. Don't ever say that. It is a lie. You know it's a lie. I know it's a lie. Just when people say that, just get out of here. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. When you say, I have none. And don't say, well, you know, I never thought about it. No one ever asked me that. Seriously? No one ever asked you that? Maybe you think you're being smart with the reply. Don't do that. It just shows you are dishonest, and also it shows you lack self-awareness. Those are not good answers. Also, here are the ones I hear all the time that are also is a big no-no. I'm kind of a workaholic and a bit too much of a perfectionist. Give me a break. Don't try to turn that and put a positive spin on it when you're being asked what are your weaknesses, right? Another one I hear all the time, oh, I love people, I love working with people.
Okay, so this is great. You don't have to say that you have none. You don't have to say that you don't know your weaknesses. You have to be prepared. Prepare, know your weaknesses, and don't say something like that's you think sounds good, like I'm a perfectionist, but I'm a workaholic. So then let's watch this.
Nope, it's not okay to say a weakness that's really a strength in disguise, and yes, there are such things as acceptable weaknesses and unacceptable deal breakers. In this video, I'll first share 3 practical tips to help you with this tricky yet common interview question, then walk you through a sample answer I use to land roles in management consulting and product marketing. Let's get started. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jeff. Come for the legitimate tips and stay for the hilarious interview answers from Reddit. Diving right into tip number 1, stay away from deal breakers. When it comes to answering the what is your biggest weakness interview question, there are such things as wrong answers. And this is because hiring managers generally expect a basic level of competency from job applicants. These deal breaker weaknesses include not being able to manage multiple projects at once, not being detail oriented, and not being a people person. You should avoid.
Okay, so I really like what this guy says. That there are things that are acceptable answers, that are acceptable weaknesses, that are acceptable, and then there are some deal breakers, some things that you can't really say, can't really mention because that, won't help you get hired for this job. So these are the weaknesses to avoid. Weak project management skills, not detail oriented, not getting along with others. This is very important. I think this has to do with teamwork, and this is vital.
Avoid saying these because no matter how many strengths you have or how capable you are in all other areas, if you can't get the basics right, it's going to be very hard for your future manager to trust you to work independently. To be a bit more blunt, while good managers are always going to be there to guide you and help you grow, they want to cut down on the need to micromanage your schedules, double check your work, and apologize to colleagues you might have inadvertently offended. The good news is there's a great way to be honest about your shortcomings when faced with what is your greatest weakness while avoiding those deal breakers. And that's tip number 2, highlight a skill.
Okay, so remember, there are things that are going to be deal breakers. So here we have a sample answer.
So what's your biggest weakness?
My biggest weakness is, I believe, that I find it really hard sometimes to say no to people. So what happens is people will ask me to do jobs and I'll be like, yes, no problem, I'll do that, leave it with me. And I end up taking on too much sometimes in addition to my usual work, and I sometimes in the past have felt a little bit overwhelmed. So what I need to do is to learn to say no when appropriate. Of course I will take on as much work as possible, but I need to learn to say no when the time is right. Having said that, one of my strengths is that if you find anything about me that you think I need to improve upon, tell me and I'll go away and do it.
So as you can see, he says that he finds it very hard to say no, but then he tells the interviewers how he is working on that, right? and that he's self-aware. He's aware about the things that he needs to do in order to not let these weakness just have get him some problems, right, at in his job. So, and then we have here some how to answer what are your greatest weaknesses. So choose a weakness that will not prevent you from succeeding in this role. Remember, no deal breakers. Be honest and choose a real weakness. Provide an example of how you work to improve upon your weakness or learn a new skill to combat the issue. Demonstrate self-awareness and an ability to look to others to provide you with the resources necessary for growth. Don't be arrogant and don't underestimate yourself. So I really like these tips. And then here we have some other sample answers. Although I always met my deadlines, I used to have a problem with procrastination and I end up working really long days as that deadline approached. I decided that I needed to deal with the issue, so I took classes on project management and time management and learned how to organize my days and attack bigger projects in manageable chunks. Now I put together a plan as soon as I get a new assignment and I often beat my deadline. So this is a great answer, right? So this person has problems with the deadlines. So this person explains how they worked on this issue, right? How they managed to improve on these weaknesses. I've always been on the design side of things and haven't had much experience with content development, so I'd say that that's a weakness for me. However, I'm a quick learner and I believe I could improve my writing skills if I ever needed to for my job. So again, another answer, and I like that they say this, that they had this problem, but they know that they have this strength, that this person is a quick learner, which can help this person work on this weakness. And then we have here some list of weaknesses that you can mention. For example, impatience, self-criticism, too direct, delegation, disorganized public speaking, insecure, too detail-oriented, very extroverted or introverted, a hard skill, right? Some things that you can mention. So you have to always keep everything in a positive light. For example, maybe saying that you are impatient doesn't really sound good, but you can say that sometimes, like you want to start working on the project as soon as possible, you are a little bit anxious, and so you feel that you need to work on that, right? You need to be more patient. So that's a way in which you can, use this, but in a more positive light, right? So also you have to, for example, the same with insecure. Maybe insecure sounds really too negative. So you want to say that maybe you are someone who always double checks things, and then you need to work on that. You need to or check something many times, and you need to work on that because you want to provide a better service, but at the same time you don't want to be maybe spending too much time checking things many times. So then you have here also other weaknesses: multitasking too much, self-criticism, too detailed oriented, overthinking, analytical, perfectionist, introverted, easily overwhelmed, procrastinator, sensitive. Now remember, I like what the guy said in one of the videos, that don't try to disguise something. Oh, I'm a perfectionist. No, try to come up with a real weakness. So let's see what we've learned. So we have to be honest, right? Talk about a real weakness, and don't try to come up, and don't be aware of deal breakers, right? So don't, of course, mention deal breakers because you are not going to get the job, right? Most probably. And then we need to also talk about how we're going to be, how we try to improve, right? Improve on this weakness, how we're working on that, how we worked maybe in the past, or how we know now what we can do about this weakness in order to just be a better employee. So that's it, guys. That's it for this answer. And then for the next question, it's going to be, what is your greatest achievement? Bye-bye.